Good morning. I am Lindsay. If you are new here, I share a lot of what I eat in a day content. I share recipes occasionally, and I also will sometimes share food preps or grocery hauls and that sort of thing. Most of my content here is low carb, keto friendly, but also trim healthy mama friendly if you follow that way of eating. And recently I decided to move back to the trim healthy mama way of eating, incorporating some low fat, higher carb meals every now and again. And I'm just kind of experimenting with the season my body is currently in. And I am kind of digging it. So I am back on THM for the time being, and I'm going to do a what I eat in a day on the Trim Healthy Mama way of eating. Today I am having a cup of coffee. This has half a tablespoon of heavy cream, and it has 1 scoop of collagen along with a couple of drops of stevia. This is actually my second cup of coffee for the day. My first cup was a black cup of coffee with just a few drops of stevia in it. And right now it is 8:30, and that first cup was around 6 o'clock this morning. So today I'm gonna make an S breakfast. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with THM, that means high fat, low carb breakfast. There's some studies out there about cortisol and how eating carbs later in the evening or in the afternoon or those kinds of time frames is actually more beneficial to your insulin levels. I don't remember exactly where I read that research, and I highly doubt that I'll have the wherewithal whenever I edit this to go back and find it. So forgive me, but I'm sure if you consult the Dr. Google, they might be able to point you in the direction of that kind of information. Also, I have the book called The Keto Diet by Leanne Vogel. She has some really good information in the front section of that book, and she also discusses doing carb ups or having a higher carb meal in the evening times when you are trying to just sort of like balance out your adrenals and that sort of thing, and taking those carbs in later in the day is actually more beneficial. So that's where we're gonna go with this day today. I'm gonna plan on either having my carbs at lunchtime or at dinner time. I'm unsure at this moment. I've gone on for far too long. I need food. Alrighty, breakfast is ready. So I am still working my way through that cup of coffee. About half of it is gone. I'll keep moving through there. This is my first glass of water for the day. I believe this is either 16 or 20 ounces. I'm unsure. I haven't actually measured it out, and I don't remember if it said on the packaging. My sister-in-law gave me that for my birthday, and it's beautiful. Here I have 1/4 of a head of cabbage that I shredded up, and then I cooked it in a skillet with about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of butter so that it would be able to move a little freely in the pan. I cracked 3 eggs into it, and when I tried to scoot them around a little bit, they broke. So I went ahead and turned it from just like eggs in a nest into a cabbage scramble, and then I topped that up with some of my homemade chipotle ranch. We are almost out of this, and we are out of mayonnaise, so today that is for sure going to be on my to-do list. I'm starving. It is 9 o'clock, and I'm ready to eat. It is 11:15, and I have made the Trim Healthy Mama Shrinker Sipper from Trim Healthy Cookbook. This is on page 400, and it's also all over the internet for free. So you can just search out the shrinker. My goodness, tongue, you can do this. We can do this. Okay. I don't make mine the same way as they have in the book specifically. I reduced the amount of almond milk to about half what the recipe calls for, and then I added in 1/8 teaspoon of lecithin, sunflower lecithin, to try to help suspend the cayenne and the cinnamon a little bit better. And then I used my little handy dandy milk frother to blend it up instead of using the actual blender. And I only put in a few ice cubes. I normally do about, 20 to 24 ounces of water, hot water, and then I add in ice cubes, and then that melts it and makes it room temperature. So that's where we are. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I was posting on the THM Journey app, and I went ahead and mixed in the chocolate chips that I had put on here. You can see a little bit of the remnant right there. All right, it is lunchtime. It is 12:53, so it's been almost 4 hours since I had my breakfast. And let's talk about this. I have the Big Bowl Cinnamon Oatmeal from Trim Healthy Table. I think that might be page 354. I'd have to go double check it and see. I think it is. I can't remember. Okay. So I made that recipe. It calls, or they have several variations of it. I opted for the strawberry version, and I reduced the amount of almond milk to 1/4 cup instead of 3/4 of a cup because I wanted to reduce the amount of fat, because I knew I wanted to have some of those chocolate chips. And I also wanted to be able to do a speedy chocolate milk. That's just the almond milk plus the THM chocolate protein. And I love the THM protein powders. Literally, their flavored ones are hands down the best. So I had 2.5 grams of fat there. I had 2 grams of fat with those chocolate chips. Those Lily chocolate chips, half a serving is 2 grams of fat. And then I wanted to be sure to not overdo my fat. Are we going to focus there? Yeah. So 2.5 grams of fat per cup. So I only did 1/4 cup of the almond milk in the oatmeal and just did the other volume as water. That way I could stay under the 5 total grams of fat for a low fat, high carb meal, which is energizing. And I am on my second jar of water here. I finished all of that shrinker, so I'm doing pretty well with hydration today. I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm going to go chow down on this. All right. Ignore the scene behind me. The girls were playing and it's 1:30 and I am finished with my lunch. All the girls are down for quiet time. It is a lovely rainy day here in Ohio, and I actually am enjoying that quite a lot because it's not freezing outside. It's like 70 outside. Oh dear, flashing battery. Be right back. Hopefully this one lasts a little bit longer. I only have a couple batteries for this camera, and this one's low too. Yee! Let me get you on the stand. Righty tighty. Okay, there. Hopefully that's better. So I have lost all trains of thought. That's a bummer. I remembered what I was going to say. I finished lunch at 1:15, which starts my timer, my kind of loose timer about when I'm going to eat next. With Trim Healthy Mama, they like you to eat meals, they like you to eat snacks, they like you to stay well hydrated. This is not a way of eating for those who want to calorie restrict so much that you feel a constant sense of hunger. When you sit down and have a meal, you should eat to satiety. You shouldn't feel peckish all day long if you're eating Trim Healthy Mama. There are times in your hormonal cycle where you will feel peckish just because of the way that the hormones are fluctuating. But if you're eating enough at lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks, all those things, then you really should not feel hungry on THM. Now, I notice with myself, whenever I eat the E-meals, which are the high carb, low fat meals, I get hungry really quickly, and my hair's bothering me. I get hungry really quickly. It's kind of like that whole, like you stuff yourself full of Chinese food and then an hour later you're starving again type of thing. It's not to that extent, but it is a similar response in my body. And I think that means generally if I eat the carbs, I'm not eating enough protein with it to balance that out, which is why I had the speedy chocolate milk with my oatmeal for lunch. And so they want you to eat meals, they want you to eat snacks. And sometimes whenever you listen to the podcasts for THM, they will talk about like, I had this for this meal and this for snack and this and this and this. And it sounds like they're eating 6 times a day. In my research, I have discovered that the more times you put food and calories into your body, like anytime you put a morsel of food into your mouth, it will trigger insulin to respond. It's just a matter of whether that is a low response or a high response. And eating that often for me means that I'm not going to get enough time at night for my body to really utilize what I have consumed for the day. Which is another reason why also they try to recommend 3 to 4 hours between meals and snacks for regular eating and such. If I were to do that, that means that I would need to eat around 6 a.m. and then have a snack at 9, have lunch at noon, snack at 3, dinner at 6, snack at 9. That's a lot of times to eat, and I prefer to do it more in the consume a very large bulk quantity of food and then stretch it out. So I didn't eat my breakfast until 9 o'clock, and then it was, about 3.5 hours later when I had that lunch. And usually your timer goes off of the time that you stopped eating, not when you start your meal. So I would be pushing to 4:15, possibly 5:15 for that 3 to 4 hour window between meals and snacks and things. So I think today I'm actually not going to have an afternoon snack, and I will wind up eating something in the evening time. I'll have dinner. Hopefully I'll have dinner ready between 5 and 5:30, and we will eat, have it all wrapped up about 6, and then I will probably try to have a fuel pull or a low carb, low fat snack between 8 and 9. And those fuel pulls always round out with protein. Like you always center it around the protein. That's funny. Round out and center are two different things, but they make this motion in the hands. Okay, so a lot of explanation. So sorry. And yeah, the rain is kind of blah-ing out there, and I'm gonna go crack a book and enjoy it. All right, it is, what is it? 3:40, 3:45 almost. I'm starving. So I had the big bowl oatmeal, the strawberry variation, huge, ate it, felt very full with that chocolate or speedy chocolate milk afterwards. Was definitely feeling very content, very satiated. And about 20 minutes ago, about 20 minutes ago or so, give or take, I started feeling ravenous. So I'm drinking more water. I might make myself another sipper instead of the shrinker. I might make some Keto Aid. Maybe, I don't know yet. But my oldest is in there. She's making a cake from scratch for her and her sisters. And yeah, it hasn't been even 3 hours yet. And technically, if I felt like I was so ravenous that I couldn't move on with my life, is the TV on? TV is on. If I felt like I could not manage to make it until 4:15 or 5:15 or 5:30, I could have a fuel pull, a low carb, low fat snack, something kind of smallish, or maybe just something with protein. But I really just want to make it to dinner time, even though I don't know what we're having for dinner yet. So I am going to drink the rest of this water, possibly make a different sipper, and then sift through my cookbooks and sort of decide what I want to make for dinner tonight. And I think I'm going to go with an S dinner tonight. I find that only one meal a day right now, whenever I'm getting back into the swing of THM, is more helpful for me. My word. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, starting off with one meal per day or one snack or something to that effect, instead of trying to go whole hog with an all day and then an all S day or whatever, that is beneficial to me. So as long as I get one or high carb, low fat per day, I will feel successful for the remainder of this week. Yes. Alrighty, it is not 4:25, that's the temperature on the oven. It's almost 5 o'clock. I am cooking up some ground beef because I'm going to be making this. This is the Trim Healthy Mama Taco Cornbread Bake. Trim Healthy Table Cookbook, page 139. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Yeah, just getting it started. And I'm not sure what vegetables I'm going to choose to send alongside this, but as I get plates prepared, I will be sure to show you. Here is that taco cornbread bake. I chose to serve it with some salad, some cheese on top, a little bit of some diced up peppers, and it turned out pretty tasty, I guess. It's definitely not a family favorite, but it definitely hit the spot for tonight's dinner. All right, last thing that I'm gonna have for tonight is this little snack bowl. This has 1 slice of pepper jack cheese, about 1/8 of a cup of some pecan halves, a few raspberries, and about 1 tablespoon of Lily's chocolate chips. I'm also having a decaf coffee with heavy cream. I got a little overzealous on my cream there, but it is going to be tasty, and that will do it for me today on Trim Healthy Mama.